Warning, viewer listener discretion is advised. The majority of the content of this program is not factual. It is highly advised that it not be used for teaching your children from said content, other than making an example out of the hosts of what they should not grow up to be. Remember this, it's the beer talking.
About beer.
And here we are.
Sweet.
What the living holy crap? That was cool. That's intensity.
Another long intro.
Yeah. Now it's the second longest, or it ties for the first. I can't remember. I guess it would probably tie for the first longest one. Right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I wasn't even timing it.
Except the new countdown there. So,
But it did have some new footage in there. That was cool.
yeah.
Lots of booms.
I
Lots
like
of
it.
Big bada booms.
I like booms. Booms are fun.
Who's the comments is going? It's comments. It's five people's comments.
Oh yeah, I want to see comments. Can I see comments on here? Or do I
You should be. You should be able to. You have to be logged
I have
in.
to put it on comments. That's on the private chat. There we go.
There you go.
They're all
Yeah.
YouTubers.
I can scroll through.
Hey, I know Emily Grace.
I do
Last
too. Yeah.
I don't know her at all.
Wendy's on Aragon Stories.
I didn't even get a notification. You guys don't even like me anymore.
Really? You didn't get a notification?
Doesn't look like it.
Wow. It's broken.
Very angry.
Probably why there's only 4 people on now. Oh, here we go. Now we're getting more people.
Aha.
Kathleen, Heavy Metal Beer Club.
Here they come.
We probably won't see Bigfoot today though.
No.
He had eye surgery today.
Plus,
Probably not.
plus
So.
Bigfoot's not real.
So here we are, Papa Joey from an undisclosed location. Are we keeping it undisclosed?
He's in
My
Toledo.
daughter's putting the chickens back in their coop now.
Oh, okay. Is that a metaphor for something, or
I don't know.
They're in Korea.
Well, they did have to track through the rice paddies to get back to
You're right?
That's what it's like. It's a big swamp out there. So
A lot of rain, huh?
First hint, it's humid.
yeah,
Second hint,
it is humid.
it's there.
Yeah, no rain today. I mean, it's been overcast, but
It's an
no
80%
rain
humidity.
today.
We need some of that here.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we do.
Chickens.
Chickens are
No,
good.
not chickens, but rain.
Chickens are delicious.
Got to put out all these damn fires.
Are there fires
Oh.
going on? I'm just kidding.
There are.
I know there are. I drive
Horrible
through them all the
ones.
time. Super neat.
But I did want to mention that. I did want to, send our prayers and best thoughts out to the people in Globe. We do a lot in Globe with the paranormal investigating, and it's pretty scary what's going on right now.
Yeah.
So just a couple of quick updates. The Mezcal fire, which is one of them that's up there. It's 23% contained. This is as of 10 hours ago, I think. Easy Family posted this. 66,913 acres burned.
Was this one started by a fire chief again? Or?
No, but they are suspicious that it.
You remember that?
started by-
Was
yeah,
it-
I do remember that.
That was
yeah.
nuts.
That was horrible.
All these fires, like, oh yeah, my bad. I was bored, and I figured we should light the state on fire.
So the Telegraph fire, 71,000 acres, 0% contained.
How's that work?
I don't know.
I believe that's the one
You're
that we
just-
saw.
Just looking at it going, well, that sucks.
Hey, we're just gonna leave it.
You want to do something? No, I don't want to. No. It looks hot. Looks hot.
So this says it was human caused, that
Well.
investigation.
That's why it's not contained.
Yep.
Look what I made.
So last night I decided to, kind of look out to the east out of our guest bedroom. I said, I wonder if we could see the fire from here.
Ruh-roh.
And this was the shot that we took.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Yep.
That reminds me when we lived up in Williamson Valley.
Yep. And that's the other one we took.
Good gracious.
Is that crazy?
It is, man. When that right before the big one out there, there was one that came over the mountain in Williamson Valley, and we could see it cresting over the mountain, and it just had this really bright line with the fire line. And we didn't get evacuated because it was a highway in between us, but it's weird when it's that close.
Yeah.
When you can see it with your naked eye and go like, oh, that's
Well, that's what I was showing here is, we're an hour
Yeah.
away from where we're at. So it's, that's a picture I took yesterday afternoon when I looked over and it looked like a freaking volcano went off.
Yeah,
Like, what
that's
the
the thing.
hell is that?
51 miles with the wind.
Yeah.
You cover that distance in no time.
No time at all,
It's
right?
You
ridiculous.
didn't happen to throw the one in that I sent you, did you? Because that was
Mm,
taken in Miami right after
No,
the
but-
fire broke out.
But I can do that while you're talking. So
Yeah.
When were you in Miami?
We came to our destination by way of Miami and through, how did we go? Why did I tell you? Safford? Went through Safford and
Safford.
then into New
Oh.
Mexico and met up on the 10 right before Deming.
I'm an idiot.
you were thinking
I
Florida.
was thinking Florida. I'm like, what the hell are you doing all the way down in Florida? Like, I was kidding about Korea. Where are you at? Stupid ass.
About 16 hours away, drive wise.
Good. Oh, yeah, I'm dumb. All right.
I got to figure out where I just put your picture, Joey.
Read about your picture.
Hey, check this out. I bet
What
you're
is it?
jealous. Look at the glass I've got.
I can't see it.
I can't see it yet. I'm trying to.
We're looking at files.
Oh,
Oh, wait, I can see it. What is that? Is that a naked man? I can't see it. Oh, wait.
All that. And I am jealous now.
I'm
Yeah,
not. I'm not. I have all of those.
that's pretty sweet.
Yes.
So this was the picture you guys took.
Oh, wow.
yeah, and that's at the Circle K right in Miami.
Frickin' frack. Wow.
That was just like a couple hours after it broke out.
So that's a structure's burning yet, or is that just
No, that's coming down the hill, but those are where you see the lights, on
Yeah.
the left side. I mean, those are
Hmm.
buildings.
Structures.
that looks like
Yeah.
structure fire, but I guess not. I guess they'd let you know if it was.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah, they have started evacuations.
I would hope so. That's
yeah,
pretty freaking close.
it's kind of crazy. Crazy.
Thanks,
stuff.
Andrea. Andrea likes my glass.
Speaking of glasses,
Oh yeah, what are we drinking?
beer.
Beer.
That's all I know. Smells like grapefruit.
What are you guys are drinking the same thing, right?
We're drinking the same thing. Yeah, it's the this is Rogue Newport Days, which is a hazy pale ale.
It tastes like orange
And
peels.
5.5 ABV and 35 IBU, so it's really not all that bitter.
Hmm.
It's kind of fruity.
Is it fruity?
Tastes like an orange peel. Yeah, that's definitely.
That's fruity. So I picked up. You can't see it because it's a green can. So it's kinda cool.
That's magical.
But it's Abnormal Brewing Company out of San Diego. I figured it'd be appropriate for tonight's topic. This is their Hazy Dreams Indian Pale Ale, 6.9 ABV. So not too bad,
Chroma key kicks ass.
right?
Sorry, I can do it.
So yeah. So cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, cheers.
Cheers to
Hey,
everybody out
that
there.
was a really good position. I picked that up. Now I can't reproduce that again. Like
Ooh, that's good.
I'm totally thrown off. There we go.
You're in the middle of the screen, Joey. That square thing.
It doesn't work like a mirror.
Right.
That was messing me up too.
All right. So tonight we're continuing our topic from last week.
What's your topic, man?
Conspiracy
theories. Yeah, we kind of kicked into the chemtrail area right as we were ending,
Right.
and I don't remember what we left off because, believe it or not, I don't have the greatest memory. So
What were we talking chemtrails?
I don't know if that was when we were done or if it was in the middle of the thing. Yeah. Touched on lots of stuff.
Yeah.
Where do
Yeah,
we
we
start
did.
then? Where should we start?
Well, I just wanted to go over Nostradamus real quick because we did bring him up last week and we
He
all
knows
decided
a lot of stuff.
we didn't know shit about him. So,
Oh yeah.
so I did a little research
An
on him.
old guy.
He's an old guy. He was a French astrologer born in 1503.
Makes sense.
His first book was published in 1555. That's 466 years ago.
Hmm.
In 1521, he began studying herbal remedies. In 1529, he took on studies for a doctorate in medicine, but was expelled when he was discovered to be
Smoking
an
crack.
apothecary.
What the hell is that? I don't know what that means. Go ahead.
Does anybody know what an apothecary is? I didn't do that. I didn't do that
Is that a pot
research.
smoker? Because the herbs thing I was catching, like, oh, so he's smoking weed.
No, apparently he was soliciting something. I don't know.
Now, isn't that like an herbal pharmacist?
Yeah, but I
Is
think
a
he was.
apothecary?
Yeah, he's smoking weed.
Well,
Yeah.
he could be, yeah, probably. So after being expelled, he continued work as an apothecary and became known for creating the rose pill that protected against the plague.
Yeah.
So that was his
Oh.
claim to fame.
Rose pill.
In 1550, he moved away from medicine and began writing the almanac. With the success of the first, he continued to write, which was believed to include 6,338 prophecies.
What an arrogant son of a bitch. Huh? This is all shit that's coming true.
After writing the almanacs, he began work on his book of quatrains, which we all come to know and love. It's believed by many that he predicted with scary accuracy the French Revolution, Napoleon, Hitler, both world wars, nuclear attacks on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the Apollo moon landings, the Challenger disaster, and even September 11th.
Zero by name. A really shitty thing will happen in the sky and there will be death. No, I'm just kidding. I've not read his thing but I know that he's supposed to be pretty accurate. And I think the few I've ever read back to me, it was like, oh yeah, that's about as accurate as you can get when you don't know what you're talking about. It is pretty open to interpretation, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he mentions in the book the name, not Hitler, but he mentions Hissler.
right.
So
Hissler?
that's- Hissler
It's sort of
was
With
mentioned
a
in the
lisp.
book.
sort of that thing. What's that guy? That psychic, like somebody with a C
Yeah.
over here. I'm getting a Hessler or a Whistler. It's gonna really bad. It's gonna be really bad. I just know that.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
No, I'm
though.
not. I'm not.
400 years earlier. I mean, that's pretty close.
You know, how much time did you have to cover before the monkeys make Shakespeare? I guess. I don't know. You know, I'm not saying it's not true, but again, it falls in that. Wow, that's cool and useless.
Right.
Other than this guy has been dead for nearly 500 years or so. It's like, well,
Or
you were
is
right.
he?
You were right, buddy. Let's get him a ribbon. I don't know how it plays in the grand scheme of things, but I guess he's proud of it wherever he's at. It's like, fuck yeah, I told him. Told him that was gonna happen. I knew it. Freaking knew it.
Oh, like Joey said, is he really dead?
Or is he?
Well, it depends on what you mean by dead. And yeah, there you go. So an apothecary is a person who prepared and sold medicines and drugs. Are drugs and medicines different?
I think
Yes.
so. I think drugs sound more
I think so.
Illegal?
sound more synthetic.
They're certainly not always
Medicines can
legal.
be.
Yeah, you can have a homeopathic or naturopathic or
Yeah.
pathopathic, psychopathic. I don't think that's the thing.
Psychotropic.
Psychotropic. That's a
There
good
you
word.
go. That's a good word.
Who gets $1?
But we digress. I can't talk tonight. All right, so let's
Yeah.
talk about chemtrails because I know, Joey, you
Well,
like
that's
this topic.
I do. I like it. I mean, I
You
don't
like
know if I
chemtrails?
like it, but it's always interested me whether it's really true they could be dropping chemicals and stuff. Who knows? I don't know.
I was always told that there was a difference. The chemtrail thing was not necessarily always what do you call it? Negative thing. A lot of times it was to protect populaces from things they knew what was going on that they didn't want to tell anybody about.
I don't have my paper.
Why?
I think it's in Arizona.
No, could be.
Well, let's
possibly.
pretend that I'm right. It'll be fun.
But then they've also didn't they talk about spreading shit in the upper atmosphere, so it changes the weather. It alters the weather too.
Well, we have machines that can control the weather.
Well, yeah,
so
yeah.
I don't need that.
Make seed
That's on our list
clouds.
too. I never understood why we need seed clouds. We got rain machines. Just turn the hose up. I don't know.
Turn those.
No, the thing's on our list, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it is.
Moving along. So yeah, I think that jets and airplanes leave exhaust trails, and I think there could possibly be chemtrails. I don't know why, if they have the option to make them visible or not. Why are they ever visible? No one will ever notice it. Just leave it like that. Dude, we put the poison up there and you can totally see it.
So Wendy
It's just
says,
some exhaust.
don't believe everything you hear, Jack. And then she goes on to say,
Well, first and foremost,
they're poisoning us.
yeah, they're poisoning us.
I believe that.
Don't believe everything you hear, Jack. You need a comma in there, or you need to spell here right. And I'm done with that. Zing. I'm sorry. I didn't know how to do it. Anybody? No.
I have typos all the time when I
I know.
text.
That's why it's fun. It's how I deflect people kicking my ass around verbally, because you know.
So is that in on chemtrail? Is that all you got?
He doesn't have his paper.
I don't have my paper, and I feel like you know how I wing things.
I'm naked without my paper.
We see it a
over the
lot
place.
here.
Yeah, we do. Man.
Well, that's the thing. I don't remember the first time that anybody ever brought up chemtrails in my life, but I didn't ever correlate the cloud things from the planes as chemtrails. Because again, I thought if they're dumping stuff out there, they're not going to make it visible. You know what I mean? That's like, that makes sense that those are planes.
Well, they just write it off as the cool atmosphere in the exhaust from the plane. That's what they write it off.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. Like, I think like if they're going to dump chemicals on us that do something, they're not going to do it in a way that we can see it. That's just my thought again on the whole, like, if we got nefarious evil people doing something, suck it, Jack. I love you, Wendy. Sorry. Oh.
Yeah, now I see what you mean, though, Keith, because I can't comment on here. It's not giving me a spot to comment.
But you can see the comments.
I can see them.
You got to get on your phone.
I have to do it on my phone.
The only way to do it.
That sucks. We got to write a StreamYard.
Can't tell me that. No, I agree, but I don't know. I guess I don't pay enough attention. I could tell you that because there's actually like 20 of them in a row, right at Sky Harbor every day.
Yeah.
There's a huge line of planes. But I guess the little trails go off in really odd directions, which again, that seems like a problem because in the whole air traffic control thing supposed to keep them sort of organized.
They do.
Well, damn it. Now I have questions. Thanks, Wendy.
That just stirred up a bunch of shit now.
Said explain all those freaking white lines in the sky. Okay.
All right. Well, since you mentioned it, let's go into the machines that can control the weather.
Well,
and create the weather. It's the HARP program.
The Harby Harp.
What does that stand for?
Harbinger of death.
I like Jack better. I don't want to read
What does this
one.
actually stand for?
High frequency active auroral research program.
Damn.
So what it does is it directs a 3.6 megawatt signal in the 2.8 to 10 megahertz region of the high frequency band into the ionosphere. The signal may be pulsed or continuous. Effects of the transmission and any recovery period can be examined using associated instrumentation, including VHF, UHF radars, HF receivers, and optical cameras. According to the HARP team, this will advance the study of basic natural processes that occur in the ionosphere under the natural but stronger influence of solar interaction, whatever the hell that just meant.
I just heard pulsing. Yeah, no, it's yeah. I mean, it's supposed to be able to do rain and change temperatures and all this kind of stuff.
I don't know if that was their initial intention.
I don't think it was their intention. I think it was what I understood was that they found it to be capable of doing things, but it was accidental. But then I've heard other people talk about that there's different stuff besides HARP that can control rain specifically.
Okay.
Well, I know some of the conspiracy theories. So Nick
Junior, we call him Nick Big Itch. Big Itch. Nick Big Itch Jr.
He said the HARP program had the ability to create earthquakes.
He's a senior.
That's crazy.
Then mind control. They were using it for mind control.
Oh,
Could flip the Earth's poles with a cascade of electrons. So when they're shooting stuff up into the atmosphere,
Mind controlling. They're doing a horrible job.
that's what 5G is for, isn't it?
That's, I guess. I thought it was for cooking birds, but I'm not certain on either one of those things.
Manipulation of weather, producing superstorms, power outages, and even blame for the downing of TW8 Flight 800. May even cause low frequency hums heard in various locales, which is interesting. You ever watch those YouTube videos when people are just outside filming shit and you hear those weird freaking noises?
Yeah.
They call them the.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
That's actually in our neighborhood. I think my wife figured out that there's someplace close to us that actually tests engines, like jet engines. So at night you can actually hear. Well, people with good hearing.
Loud.
People with good hearing and with sensitive hearing. My wife can actually hear it. He goes, "You hear it? You hear it?" And I go, "Oh yeah, I kind of do." Then you go outside and you can actually feel it, which is really nuts. They're killing us. Just deal with it.
Why do you think a ghost would only haunt a particular hotel room and not the others?
What?
That's a good question.
Why do you, no, it's not.
Because it's a residual haunting and it's imprinted in the walls of that room.
Yeah, it doesn't have a choice. It doesn't. It's not free to run. It's stuck. That's the whole thing with the ghosts. If they're ghosts, it could just be an energy pattern stuck in the room too. You know.
Or he had a really great experience in that room and wants to keep reliving it. This is my room.
I was going to say, you had a great experience in one of the rooms too.
Surely.
I just wanted to go home.
Locked in a room.
And it did not want you to go home.
No, it didn't want me to leave.
So, do we dare get into 9/11?
Did we what?
Do we dare get into 9/11? We talked about that last week.
Why not? I mean, like, here's the thing. This is, again, it's one of those deals of like, what do any of us actually know? Some of us have friends or people that are close to us that have firsthand accounts. I don't have anybody who has firsthand accounts. The only stuff that I have as far as information is what's in the report that was released. And then the tidbits that other people show me. And I've seen lots of stuff that's absolutely terrifying as possibility. I still have not heard any good answer to why the third building went down. And that's something that I believe was understood to be a fact. That the third building went down. They didn't talk about it. How the hell did that happen? They don't know. They don't talk about it.
Right.
It's like, but it's a real thing. It's not denied. It's not questioned. It's like, why isn't that questioned? You know what I mean? I don't know that I believe that our government had anything to do with it, so much as I believe that we're not getting the totality of what the whole thing was. You know, whether we were involved in it at all or who it was, I don't know. So again, it's one of those things that it's attached with such emotion because there was such loss that it's one of those things that I think can get really, really heavy. And there's still no answers.
Right.
So I'm cool with talking about it. I can talk on my ass all day about it, but I don't know anything, and I don't think anybody else does either. So, what do you guys think? Those of you who listen, is it worth the emotional toll?
Well, I don't. I agree with you. I don't believe it was our government that did it.
I have trouble accepting it. I
Right,
could see it either way, but it's one of those things. It's like, if they do, I don't really need to know that. It's like, I'm cool with that. Blissful ignorance is fine with me. I don't want to believe that people that are in our government are that evil.
Well, I mean, one of the popular beliefs, one of the conspiracies that I read about was the fact that they staged it to further the war in the Middle East.
Right.
Gave us an excuse.
Yeah. Well, and that's one of the big ones is that, it's oil and this and that. And it's like, okay, well, that's, I guess, plausible. But then you think about all the other stuff that happened during that government's or during the administration at the time, all the dumbass stuff that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Look for them weapons and no, there's nothing there. Like, but they stage that. It all falls into my whole thing of like the amount of organization and stuff that has to go on. I feel like it requires a lot more than they're capable of. But obviously they can keep secrets. It just always it seems so implausible to me because it's a lot of secrets. Some seriously organized things, and the little bits that we get to see. You never know. I never know what the hell's true.
Right.
We know that a bomb went off. How long before the planes was it that they had the
93 was the garage bombing,
and that was such a dumbass blunderish like morons doing their thing, and that elevated to what actually happened is like, are those things actually connected? That's terrifying. Like, hey, hey, Jimbo and Bobby Bob are going to go out and give it a shot. And if they can't, then we'll go and do the real plan. And you let her stupid nephew give it a shot first. I want to help, but I don't know, whatever.
I know one of the popular beliefs was that it was demolition that caused the buildings to fall. But then you start thinking about it, and when they talk to a lot of the demolition specialists, the amount of explosives that they would have needed to take down those buildings, somebody would have noticed it.
Well, but that's the thing. Like when you see those pillars at the bottom, the angle cuts on the pillars, and the reality of what it takes to take a building down, and then the way the building fell, and all those things that are so, 1 in a million sort of, or 1 in a billion type of odds that this building that had structural damage at the level that it did collapsed the way that it did is such a low. And then 2 of them right next to each other.
Right.
Again, you're going like, maybe. And then like, well, it would have taken so much explosives. Like, and why is that harder than an absolute like astronomical just accident versus they put a bunch of deck cord around stuff and nobody noticed? The 2 of those things weighed out. One seems much more plausible to me in that we rigged the place with explosives while nobody was looking. That seems silly, but not as silly as this kind of goes against physics, but it just fell down into itself and didn't, Like that's just freaking crazy.
But does it though? How heavy is a plane moving at 200 miles an hour, slamming into a building? And not only that, the jet fuel, how hot jet fuel burns,
Absolutely.
The fires went all the way down the elevator shafts.
Absolutely.
So
you weaken a structure to a certain degree.
Right.
But there again, steel, if you watch steel fail, now mind you, this all was steel that was supposed to be treated for fire.
Oh,
Assuming that all that stuff was faulty and didn't work right, when you melt steel, what does it do? It bends. That's just been my experience with it. It bends. So for it all to just go molten at one point and then drop again, that whole part of it, just watching it go, it looks like a freaking demo. It just does. I've never seen, a recreation of it. And this is the one thing I would love to see somebody do is, even if you just scale down recreation or a computer model recreation, we have the ability to calculate these things. How come they can't just do a thing and say, hey, math, does this work? If I melt this part of the building, does it fall into itself?
Right.
I have a feeling it doesn't. I don't know that for sure, but just everything I've experienced in the world of construction I've been in for most of my life, things don't happen like that accidentally. Shit falls over accidentally. It's chaotic. Right. And that was not chaotic.
If you watch the videos of it falling,
times.
Coming down, I've watched it many times too, but maybe 5-10 floors below before it, starts sinking and you see the windows blow out.
Yeah.
So
now there was a lot of stuff in that was just like really hard to explain outside of an awful thing. And again, it disturbs me in my core to think that that's a possibility, but it makes a hell of a lot more sense. And again, there's another building that went down. Why?
Controlled even.
That's what I'm saying. It didn't fall on anything and it didn't really get hit by much. We don't even really know why it was on fire, but it fell down too. And again, I don't know what they're covering or what they're trying. They're just trying to propagate and keep the war going. I don't know why they needed us to sign off on it. I feel like that whole thing was not really a push about the war, but a push about the freaking Patriot Act.
Yeah. Yep.
That's how the Patriot Act came into being. And that's not theory. That's a fact.
Yep.
Yeah. We lost a lot of our freedoms.
They keep reenacting it on us, and all the Snowden stuff and all that information, all of that came from the Patriot Act. Mm-hmm. It was a big deal that nobody paid attention to. That still has an effect on us today, and it's like everybody talks about all the rights that are going away with the disease and stuff. Guess what? It's been a slow crawl. And again, I don't know who's behind it, but that's verifiable stuff. And that's just, it's upsetting because again, it means that somebody did it on purpose.
But it's the same idea as the whole virus thing. It's they've what's that famous saying? Never let a good
never wasted good tragedy.
Tragedy or something like that. Yeah, whatever that saying is. But so 9/11, everybody was up in arms about it. Everybody was pissed off that it happened. We were all upset, and thousands of people died. So how easy is it to slip that in there? And
that was the thing. It wasn't even difficult. It's like, hey, we got this building here that we can keep it from happening because we're just going to go ahead and make it so that we can spy on anybody we need to and hold anybody we need to. And it's cool because it means if there's terrorists, we're going to get them. Now, and it hasn't prevented any terrorism, but it means they can spy on all of your shit.
Yeah.
You know, and they check everybody's phone bills and get all this marketing crap that's going on is backed by that damn bill. It's protected by it. And we have to fight it on an individual basis now. It's stupid as hell. And if my wife's listening, she's losing her mind.
So what's your thoughts, Joey?
Well, let me tell you what's going on in my head here. And it's making it tough to talk. Because I can hear you guys super good, but I can't hear myself talk.
Uh-huh.
And so I mean, you know what it's like as a musician, if you're trying to sing a song and you can't hear yourself sing and you're hearing everybody else, it's really tough to. So I'm trying to make some adjustments here, but I make myself louder and then you guys are just,
That much louder?
not much louder too. So
We could talk softly.
whisper, everybody. Whisper. All right. Well, we'll just try it.
I'll be quiet.
Yeah, I know from a buddy, that I can't remember how long before 9/11 happened, but he did say they did shut down all the elevators, to do maintenance.
Yeah.
Prior to that happening, and that would have been a great place to place all those charges and whatnot. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's how it always ends. Is I don't know, and it's just, it always, for me, it always just leaves. It just leaves a real.
Yeah, he was crossing the Brooklyn Bridge when the first tower fell,
Oh.
and he said that you could feel the ground shake like a big old boom before it fell, and then they watched it from there. So I don't know.
Yeah,
It's sad. I mean, and you say no one wants to believe the government was involved because that's just ugly and bad. But
Right.
is it possible?
Oh, it's so certain. It's certainly possible. But that it's hard to deal with tragedy on that level sometimes, especially when it is enacted on purpose. Like if you guys saw the Beirut explosion, that was horrific, but that was just stupidity. It was, it was a stupid thing and nobody should have died there, but nobody did it on purpose.
Right.
Nobody did it on purpose on any level. Whereas the 9/11, regardless of who it was, somebody did it intentionally.
Yep.
And that's hard. That's just hard to stomach. Because who the fuck?
I know I didn't. They were talking about the Pentagon.
Yeah.
And one of the popular conspiracies there is that a missile
it was
went into the Pentagon.
Soviet cruise missile. There's
Right.
we only got that one shot of it. That one shot, you had one camera on that part of the building. I'm like, where are we at again? The Pentagon. You guys don't have any security cameras around? Oh, there's like 4,000 of them, but they were all turned off or looking the other way. Or, that part of it is always so frustrating because it's like, there has to be video evidence of what the hell hit the damn building. Yeah. And all you have is that one shot that you show one time and never again. Like, okay. It's so freaking irritating. And it's the kind of stuff that really spurs all of this craziness. And I don't know, again, what the end game there is other than just to make us confused and make it so that nobody has any answers, because really, what else? Why wouldn't you want to put that to rest? And as the government of grand conspiracy, you don't have the ability to put together a fucking video that has a convincing shot of a fucking plane going to the side of the thing. You know what I mean?
Well, when you look at I was looking online and saw some of the pictures of the aftermath, the building was still smoking. There's part of a plane sitting there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But that was the one time that was aired.
Right.
Like, as far as I know, there was no follow up to it. There wasn't a lot of stuff picked up. You know what I mean? Like, you get anybody's luggage or anything like that. There was a lot of stuff that was sort of circumstantial and just, hearsay, but things like, where's the parts of the plane? There's there's a whole tail section there. There is. Okay. There's either nothing like the other ones that just vaporized, or this one, the whole rear section of it's still intact and okay, even though it did that to the side of the building. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there was that, I remember seeing Oh yeah, there's parts of a plane. Why the fuck is there part of a plane? Was that one going slower? Or what? How the shit did the back of that one survive? The rest of them were going at whatever speed they were going, were just gone. Freaking gone.
Yeah.
So why? I mean, I'm not a physics expert, but it all seems really weird. But there again, it doesn't support any other theory either. I feel pretty confident that, yeah, there were planes, but I don't know how you explain that to people who don't know shit about physics. I don't know enough to know. Can it really just vaporize an entire plane and only put that big of a hole into? Well, yeah, it's a very secure building. Okay. Well, then what about the big glass building? Should have done more to that one, wouldn't you think?
Right.
I don't know. And then in the field, oh, it left a little burn mark.
With no plane.
With no plane. It's like somebody put a cigarette out. I don't know.
When you watch the Pentagon footage, and it goes back to your point, this is the government, and the best camera we have, it's a shitty view to begin with.
Shitty is like my toddler's freaking, it's our baby monitor. We had it set up in the parking lot on that day.
But then you watch it, and at the beginning of the frame, you see something come in the frame, then it skips, and the explosion. You don't actually see what the object was.
We have a single 1080p camera available, right? We just one shitty baby monitor that we picked up at Walmart that morning because the entire security system was down. So that's all we got, guys. Sorry about that. Well, thank goodness that was there. Otherwise, there would have been some questions. Ridiculous. So like, have you ever seen that one where the plane's coming out and like goes over the highway, and there's like 92 dash cam videos of this plane?
Yeah,
kind of like
exactly.
Just one plane coming down in the middle of traffic. There's a shitload of dash cams, but no, there was no other cameras on that day when it went into the freaking. Yeah.
What about that meteor? How many cameras caught that?
I don't even know which one we're talking about.
The one over in
Russia.
Yeah, in Russia. Yeah,
I know that last time we had aerial stuff here, my security cameras caught the flash of light.
Right.
We actually saw that. That was a trip. So yeah, again, there's like nothing. Just that one shitty grainy shot. Yep, that's all we got. Okay, cool.
Interesting.
Cool. Anyway. Yeah. No social media either. Yeah, I know. Because if there had been social media, then they wouldn't be able to pull that shit off.
That's true. That's why that shit doesn't happen anymore.
I guess that's the one good side of social media, right? Yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
It's our protection.
Hey, Leland's on. Hey, Leland.
What up, dude?
Oh my gosh. I got heartburn like a son of a bitch.
Shouldn't have brought that up then, huh? Gave you heartburn?
No, I think it's the rose. It's the naked guy.
Yeah.
With his sexy shorts. Newport days.
Yeah, I would probably say that's probably the one that ticks me off the most to talk about. Try to defend things as much as you can, and then someone will bring up another point that's like, oh yeah, well maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And
well, a couple of those guys trained in Eloy, right?
Was it? I thought it was Florida.
There were some in Florida, but maybe I'm making that up. But I've thought that there were a couple of the guys that were here in Eloy and trained.
Yeah, there were some in Eloy. Yeah, that's right.
Huh.
Okay,
that I didn't know.
Some of the pilots. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's always an Arizona connection to everything.
Right.
That happens.
No, we don't care about landing. It's okay.
We don't even skip that part.
We're fine. Now, how do we go faster coming downwards?
Because Terry Nichols from Kingman?
I believe so.
How do you guys know all this shit?
Because we're weirdos.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know. That's the stuff that's in here. The real problem is that it's hard to remember what I heard and what I've just made up. Because usually I don't have a good enough memory to remember my sources on things. So it's like I know I saw it somewhere. It was in a book or on TV or my sister said it. Or I don't freaking know. It's real.
Well, if you listen to Alex Jones, you get a whole ear full.
Dude, he's a frighteningly intelligent person.
He is.
And he's hard to listen to because he's so freaking ADD and just spastic. Like when he gets on a tear, dude, I'm like, what is this? I don't know how much cocaine he's done, but like he just reminds me of those dudes, that dude at the party who won't get away from the friggin' door. It's like, nobody's coming in the door, you jackwad. He's just like so high strung when he's on one. It's uncomfortable to watch him.
Yeah, sounds like he's going to stroke out for sure.
Dude, he just gets off the rails and like, and it's more and more and more. It's like, bro, one thing at a time. Let us digest it.
Every time gets as red as a cherry,
Oh yeah. Well, the poor bastards who are interviewing him are always just like, what do I do? How do you unwind this clock? Like, I've seen Joe Rogan try to talk him off the ledge like so many times. It's like, dude, stop.
Well, I don't think Joe helps the matter because he usually gets him drunk or stoned.
Yeah, that
doesn't help.
That's what I can't figure it out. It's like, why do you keep giving this guy chemicals? He's plenty imbalanced. He doesn't need any extra. You know what makes us funner? Give him a liquor. See how well he handles that. Oh, God.
Hey, look, it's dark.
It is dark.
That's 2 time zones away from you guys.
Racist.
It's dark out there.
Still light here.
See, the things that go through my head.
Yeah, don't go there.
I never
No, you don't even know what I'm thinking. I promise
No,
you. I promise you have no
no.
idea.
Oh, how was that beer? How was that beer?
It's pretty good. It's not bad.
It's
It
So,
looks like it's an unfiltered too, right? So
Yeah, it's
pretty
definitely
hazy.
unfiltered. It's definitely hazy. Got a little tang to it. It's not bad,
Yeah, because it looks like you're drinking the same beer
right?
as far as the look of it.
Yeah, very similar, huh?
I hope not. Man,
You all right?
I think so. If I didn't have acid reflux, I do now.
Yeah.
Mm.
Should have brought up some water too.
Next.
You didn't think about it.
Water.
All right. So what do we want to hit on next? What's another good conspiracy we can talk about? I don't have my list of the 10, so I don't know if we
What
covered
the
all
heck?
10.
And that's terrible.
Well, the previews said that we were going to do chemtrails and something else.
We talked about chemtrails.
And then there was something after that.
And harp and
Is that an accurate preview though?
I don't know. Probably not.
It was collective.
Hit
Yeah,
that
it was-
banner
it was
thing.
collective.
Press your button. See what pictures you got. Press the button. You press the button.
Let's see what we got. here.
No, you press the button.
I press the button.
Oh, here's a picture of Harp.
Yeah. That's a trailer park. Just-
Looks like an SRP site.
Yes, it does. So, I don't see anything new photo-wise or so, because we talked about the guide stones last time. And what's the bone house, and the grassy no. Yeah,
Right?
buddy.
It's the grassy
Grassy-
no. It's supposed to be Knoll.
I know, but it's funnier.
It's
that
grassy
said
no. Yeah.
Grassy no, nothing.
Yeah. I'm
So
in
we did it.
Texas.
We did the Roswell crash. We did the JFK. We did the Denver airport. We did Georgia Guidestones.
Did we do
Yeah.
the moon space station? We did that one.
We touched on it a little bit.
No, I think I would have had at least a 20-minute diatribe about the ridiculous crap that's gone through my head on that one. Or maybe we did that afterwards. I can't remember if we did it on the air or not. So, you guys remember me spewing from the mouth for like an hour about the friggin' moon?
I think we all did.
Yeah, I think
We're all talking about that. Area 51's another one.
Oh yeah.
the area of.
We
the
didn't get.
51.
We did talk about. We talked about Roswell. We didn't really get into Area 51.
We
Do you
did
know that
not.
there's a commuter train between Area 51 and then like the Salt Flats or some other? There's like 2 or 3 other strategic government places that are supposedly connected by like a tunnel train for the workers. Oh yeah, ridiculous, crazy stuff.
Is
There's
that
a lot.
Does that run alongside the submarine canals?
No, not alongside it, but it's part of the same sort of collective ideas about what exists as far as government stuff. So yeah, because they have that little thing for people commuting, so they're not having to drive themselves, obviously, because that would be inconvenient. But then the submarine stations had everything to do with delivering products without having to go over the road as well.
That's insane. That's just insane to think about that there's that many tunnels and
Well, we know that the ocean's deeper than we can reach, or most of us can reach.
right.
So, is it beyond the possibility that the continental shelf isn't continuous to the core? Is it possible that there's water underneath us at some point? Of course,
sure there is,
I
yeah.
mean, I can't get down there to verify any of that crap. But then you get into that. When you get into that, we can't verify it's not there. That's when you get into flat Earth kind of idiot stuff, where it's like, how do you know? You never freaking circumnavigated the globe, have you? Well, no, I guess I haven't. So you must be right. Forest underneath the Sahara.
Really? I never heard of that. That's interesting.
Leland smokes weed.
Forest underneath. I have to look that up. That's interesting.
That is interesting. It doesn't make. Well, but I've seen underwater rivers.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
Yeah.
Cool. That's pretty freaking cool.
Underground rivers?
No, underwater.
Underwater rivers?
Yeah, you've never seen it. there's waterways flowing
I've never
underwater.
seen, I've never seen that. That's a trip.
It is a trip. It's weird. It's not like a conspiracy or anything. It's something that actually happens. It's a strange thing.
Oh yeah, what are those big
I don't
old pools called that are like in the Amazon that
Tide-
all connect
tide
together
pools,
and
something
go
like
out to the ocean too?
Yeah,
They're like big round. What do they call those?
tide pool. I don't know.
A little bit bigger and really deep.
I don't know.
Yeah, never mind. But you know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah.
I think I do. I don't know. I think
Wasn't that on
Jumanji?
no, Travel Channel had a special on that, I think, a while back. That's interesting.
I'm not familiar with
Yeah,
that
'cause they
one.
do say they're all connected.
I wonder how long it took them to, like, for the tunnels and shit. How long did it take for them to build that shit?
I don't know. Again, this all goes. One thing that is certain is that I feel like we're all very wrong about the age of the Earth and the age of how long humanity's been here or whatever's here has been here, because there's so much of this stuff that is just the time.
Right.
The pyramids is the biggest example, but then there's all sorts of archaeological things that we find that we don't have any explanation for that aren't nearly as mainstream. Like those, I can't remember where any of this stuff's at because I know we were talking about it. But there's like temples carved out of solid stone, like that doesn't, you know what I mean? And it's like all the material that's taken out of there just isn't anywhere around. And it's one of these things where it's like this would have taken like literally like a millennia to do by any means that we're aware of. Don't know who did it. It's just they find this stuff every once in a while, like, oh, there's an entire intricate building here. Well, that's really cool. Somebody carved out of solid stone. Seems legit.
Well, what it was a rock 3D printer.
and hey, you know what? At what point in human history? I remember when I was a kid, I remember hearing stories about them finding in digs, finding nuclear glass, finding evidence of nuclear blast. That was
glass,
that was super old and stuff. And it's like, how does that make any sense? It makes total sense. It's like it's cyclical. Just because we're in this frame of reference for Earth and humanity doesn't mean we're it. Like if it happened once, why do we think it only happened once? That's again, we get that human arrogance of like, we're it, man. We're the chosen. This is it. When it's over, it's over. It's like, no, it's gonna keep happening. We're wipes off and start over again. And whether it's intentional by a consciousness or it's just a reality of existence, it's a bitch to deal with.
So aliens aside, okay, forget aliens for a minute.
Because they're from here anyway.
Do you think there was a more advanced civilization that existed, whatever, a million years ago, whatever it was, whatever the time frame is, that was wiped out and basically forced us to start over again from scratch?
Oh, I think that's happened probably more than once.
Multiple times.
Yeah, I mean, because again, we don't really, do we have any idea of how old the Earth actually is? And theories range from 6,000 years to billions.
Right.
So in billions of years, is it possible that an entire race of beings came and went? Of course, because our entire record of human history is how much? Under 2,000 years, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe just over. It's like, that's all we got. But clearly there's stuff before that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And could there have been a reset? Of course. They're drilling, they do core drilling, the ice up in wherever the hell it is. Yeah, and they can see the weather changes, and that's where all that global warming shit comes from. And yeah, it's happening. It's going to happen. It gets hotter, it gets colder, it changes because we're this big thing and it changes. So yeah, life comes and life goes. Is there life on Mars? Maybe. Obviously not on top. So whatever it had to become to survive, they found water on other planets, but usually under frozen things and whatever. Like, so is there things still living there? Quite possibly. We just can't get to them because we can't see them and whatever. There's a human arrogance that goes, well, and it's just not there. But who the hell knows?
I like your train of thought.
It's a crazy ass train. It's long and heavy and choo. Anyway.
No, it's interesting. It's an interesting concept to think that, like you said, we've done this before. We're going through it again.
Well, look at the pyramids.
Yeah.
That to me is like a glaring example of like, come on. Like, we believe that these people who were putting organs in jars built those for what? And they've recently, not recently, but I mean, last 50 years or so, just the tunnels they found that they won't let us go into and no one will explore any deeper.
Right.
are like surgical in their existence and in their these little tiny tunnels. They send a robot up, and there's a door at the end of it, and they drill through it. And look at there's more paths back that way. What the hell is that for? You don't know. And it's a tomb. This giant big old thing is it's got 4 rooms in it. That's it. But no, there's more to it, and they're finding more and more to it, and they're not talking about it for what reason. I don't know. I don't know who they're protecting in that whole Egyptologist, idea of like, no, it's clearly this was by the federal, and it's just for the, reckoning. No, nothing to see. There's got to be more to it. It just in the fact that it's got to be much older than I say it is. And the few people that do talk about that kind of stuff, like how old the Sphinx actually is and what it actually was, and and the proof that they have about these things, the weathering and stuff like that, like the idea that there's entire civilizations underneath those monuments that no one gets to see. Okay, well, why? Are there answers there? Probably not, because they wouldn't be the closed-minded morons that they are. But who knows?
That can go so deep.
And again, it's because I don't have the authority or the ability or the money to really look into those things. It's entertaining to a degree, and it's also so friggin' frustrating because I'm just like, what in the shit? What do you think they were dinosaurs at one time? Well, we know they were dinosaurs at one time, right? Or did they make up the entire fossil record? Who the hell knows? It's possible that the guy sat around and said, I got this plaster stuff. It makes like bones.
Make a shit ton of bones.
Make a shit ton of bones. We'll just throw them everywhere. Look what I made. I made a velociraptor. Yeah, I can't imagine that they didn't exist just based on the fossil record that we have. When? I don't freaking know. And whose team did they play for? What planet were they playing? What were their favorite colors? Could they fly? Did they have feathers? There's so much stuff that they claim to know about dinosaurs that I'm always amazed by. Just so like, remember when you were a kid and we used to have like whole books on like what dinosaurs were, which ones what they were called, and how they were like. Yeah. You don't know anything about these things.
I was watching the special a long time ago saying that they thought the T-Rex now had hair. It's like, what? Where did that go from?
It's a freaking mohawk. Shit, and spike bracelets.
Spike bracelets.
Well, if you're gonna make him rock and roll, let's make him rock and roll. He had long hair, dude. Big old carnivorous teeth and freaking leather bracelets. And he was a bass player. Anyway, I look like a caveman. You don't know what cavemen look like?
Yeah, who said you look like a caveman?
Wendy says I look like a caveman. It's like, I haven't beard. It's because I haven't shaved. Cavemen did not have glasses either. So
true.
Don't mess with a girl. Don't do it.
Nah. I mean, dinosaurs really did survive because that's what birds are.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of sea creatures that are like that. Those friggin' terrifying anglerfish things.
Oh God, those things are freaky looking.
The encyclopedias we had as a kid. We had the Americana. We weren't rich. We didn't have the Britannica bullshit. But that one picture in there of that anglerfish that I don't know where it came from, who caught it, but I mean, like I can still see it clear as day. That just terrifying looking thing. I'm like, what the hell is that?
It's like something out of Star Wars.
Oh, and that was when I was like, yeah, I have no business in the ocean. That lives there? Nope. No, it's really deep. I don't give a shit how deep it is. It exists. Yeah, I'm good. Don't ever need to.
And that's scary too, because think about, we can't even get to the bottom of the ocean in some areas. So who the hell knows what's down there?
Yeah, and the stuff that we have seen that's enormous and terrifying, that we can accidentally see every once in a while. But then, yeah, I can't even imagine what's deeper and unattainable for us.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that, the pressure under the ocean is greater than anything that's out in space. So we can build something to go out in space and a man can survive in, but we can't build something to go under the ocean deep enough that won't crush like it.
Yeah, won't squish all of our spaces.
Yeah. No.
There's too much air in your head for you to go down into the water.
So we should spend billions and billions of dollars
and
explore the ocean instead of space.
Go to the moon one time and that's it.
Oh, yeah.
They got their answers. Like, yeah, it was pretty lame.
They're supposed to go back in 2024, aren't they?
Who's going?
And why?
Who knows? No, they need to
find the truth.
Is Elon going?
No, Elon's smart. He's going to stay.
He's just
like, no, go ahead, guys. Yeah, go pop.
Not whoever the new director of NASA was talking about it. That was the challenge like Kennedy made, to the space program when he was president. Why before the end of the 60s, we'll put a man on the moon.
If technology gets enough, we should resurrect Ross Perot and have him do it.
They should take Fauci and drop him off. Drop him off on the dark side.
Yeah, I think so. He's a funny guy, Right? Can you imagine? Could you imagine you're just sitting there, they're going like, "Hey, we need your help. There's this disease." And he's going, "Oh shit." I mean, like, there had to be a point where then it's like they're going to make him the head of this, the whole lead of this thing, and he's going like, "Oh my god, please tell me this didn't come out of the shit we were supposed to stop doing 10 freaking years ago."
That I funded.
We have record of when the United States said, "Hey, this whole thing where we're trying to make animal diseases infect people, let's stop doing that. What do you say?" And they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, we'll stop doing that. It's illegal to do here." Hey, I don't think it's illegal to do in China. I know a guy, really. We got a lab down there. We could do it there. We could totally do it there. Yeah, but I don't want to be connected to it. Dude, you give me the money and I'll do it. Oh, that'd be sweet. And we can keep it going. Woo! And then this happens and he's going like, it's pretty freaking comical when you think about it, that they, as direct a connection as there is to that lab, that this guy was put in charge.
Yep.
He had to be just absolutely shit in the bed when they called him like, "Bro, we need your help." What's going on now? What's happening? Coronavirus coming out of China. Wuhan. Oh, from a bat? No, we're not sure. I don't know. It'll make a great cartoon later.
Simpsons.
I don't know, man. The cartoon in my head is pretty entertaining. So, I just love it. Just said, "You hold on a second." Just like, just a full on meltdown. Anyway, make some cool high tech sub and make Dogecoin.
He needs to.
Yeah, he probably already did that. Keeping it for himself. I feel like he's got his cool stuff at his house.
You think?
Yeah.
He was a Star Wars freak, so it's got to be,
Well,
space.
He's a
Not a Captain Nemo freak.
Somebody doesn't like him. No, I think it's interesting because, how could he not be Tony Stark?
Right.
Like, he's got to be doing stuff he's not telling us about. Like, I would be like, if you're a freaking billionaire and you had that kind of a brain, like, just to keep yourself entertained, you'd have to be working on some shit you're not going to show nobody. That's just my opinion. Like, laser technology was badass 30 years ago.
Right.
Could you imagine what they can do now that they're
shit.
not telling us? Because I have helium neon lasers at my house. Okay. Those were cool and scary years ago. You couldn't get them years ago, but Jack's got some. Anyway, they're I can only imagine what they've got going on now that we're not allowed to have.
I know we talked about on one of our episodes that the Navy has a laser
gun.
Cannon that'll actually
A laser or a rail gun? Did they
a
finish the laser
yeah,
gun?
yeah.
That's bitching.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, visible light. Oh, we just went down. Why? I don't know. We didn't see any projectiles coming. That's because it was light, bitches. Have fun burning. Yeah, it's
crazy.
Freaking
Stuff.
crazy.
It's scary.
They do have a rail gun though. That's pretty sweet too.
Yeah, I've seen those. Those are cool.
It's ridiculous.
Those are cool.
Concept. What if we just shot a piece of metal like really fast? We don't have enough explosives. No, we don't need explosives. We're just going to use electromagnetism. And you shoot this damn thing right down these rails with magnets on them. Doesn't make any sense, Jimmy. Doesn't make any sense. I'm pretty sure it'll work. Smash cut to that thing ripping through like 12 plates of steel and I guess he was right.
Does it work?
It's ridiculous the damage it can do with no explosives. It's just a hard thing. They chuck really fast.
Scary.
Damn.
Scary.
Yeah, it's cool. So which one are we on?
I don't know.
We don't have a list. So
we don't have a list. Well, I was gonna.
We're just.
We didn't talk about Area 51. We said something about Area 51.
Oh, no, I was just
about
right off the rails at that point.
Yeah,
Sorry.
they weren't
Because I was talking about
the rails.
the commuter train.
Right. Wow, that really got off course, didn't it?
This
Holy
welcome
shit.
to my fucking brain.
So what do you want to talk about, Area 51? Come on, Joey. I know you get a lot on Area 51.
I mean, my biggest exposure to Area 51, other than what we've kind of heard, was when I finally got to watch the dude's, now I can't think of his name.
Bob Lazar?
Yeah, Bob Lazar's interview on Joe Rogan Experience. And
That's crazy.
that was pretty wild. So
those kinds of things you hear people talk about, you just go like, what's his motivation just to bullshit about it? It didn't benefit him in any way. So is it possible that he make it up? I can't really
for
work
what
myself.
reason?
Yeah, I can't work myself into a position where this guy would have had any motivation to tell any untruths in this situation at all.
He
So it's
waited
like,
a long time to say anything too.
well, and that's it. But he didn't. I mean, he's been talking about it for years, decades now.
No, but he was gone from that position for a
Right.
while before he started talking about it. Because I think he felt his life was in danger, didn't he? Isn't that what he said on the interview?
Because his life
Yeah.
was in danger. I mean,
Yeah.
it was pretty clear. They didn't want him talking about it. Like, but there again, it's those things that it all lends itself to. There's somebody that's in charge of whatever that project is, and it's clearly not, the people that are the mouthpieces for our government. So who the hell it is, I don't know, but nobody seems to know. And we get back into the whole
Shadow
Illuminati,
government.
shadow
Well,
government.
I'm not going to get into my source.
Why?
No, if a lot of these projects like that, there might be 100 people involved in that project,
Right.
but maybe there's 100 different projects in that project that are all separate parts.
I get the compartmentalization part of it, but at the same time, there's still somewhere there's a grand plan.
But each person working on that project does not know what that thing is for.
The people working on it do not, but at some level, there's an echelon.
At some level. So, I mean, there might be 100 people working on a project and only 2 or 3 really know.
Right. And how many people that are funding those, that are getting the money together, that are putting those things through, how many people are in that collective mind or shadow government or whatever that are responsible for this thing? Is it 5 people? Is it 500 people? Again, when we get to that level of power and control, there's no way in hell that they can do it themselves. There's just not.
Right.
I mean, there's no threat of one fat guy with a suit on. As evil as his laugh may be, some point someone's going to go kick rocks, you jerk. You know what I mean? Because money's super powerful. Okay, but it's also not even a thing. Like put Bubba in the room with super high powerful guy. Super high powerful guy is nothing if he doesn't have someone to kick Bubba's ass, because Bubba will rip him apart. You know what I mean? There's a point where the physicality becomes an issue, and money has so much power, and then you reach a level of ignorance and anger that can't overcome money. But that never happens because somebody's still in charge. So there's got to be lots of people involved that have some idea of what they're involved in, right? Those high-end people are protected by someone. And what the hell is their motivation? Just being this guy's bitch for the rest of their life? I don't understand it. I've never understood it.
Well, I guess it depends on what kind of threats they receive right off the get-go. Like if they say, if you ever talk, you'll never see your family again.
Yeah,
or,
those kinds of things are like, those are real.
happens.
But then again, it's like, when you see the shit that's going on with it, I mean, if there's truth to it, then isn't there a point where it's like, I can kill that guy? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you've got the power to enact their terror, at some point, I feel like somebody should be like, hey, you know what, dude? I just realized, like, he's not shit without us. Like, why are we doing what he's doing? Let's just kill him.
But it's the perception of it, though, because if they tell you that the entire military is going to be after you and the CIA and everybody's going to be after you if you talk, that's a lot more intimidating than just one guy guarding the door. You know what I mean?
Oh no, I get it. But then again, I guess I'm way too, I don't know, down the rabbit hole thought process of like, being in that position, I'd be like, all the military, what, you can tell them all what I did? You can tell them I did something different? Like, you remember I did all that bad shit for you, right? Like, so I don't know. It seems like it'd be, I don't know. Unfortunately, I'm not in that position, but when I'm in charge, things are going to be different. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, for Bob Lazar, what they do, they pretty much kind of took away his past, you know?
Yeah, they
got rid
make
of his records and then turned him out to look like an idiot and a
try to
crazy
make
man.
you look crazy. Try to make you look crazy. And that's the thing. I mean, he spent his life trying to validate what he knows. And to what end? That's what, I don't know. So the people that have done the things that were really important in that, fighting that, it amounts to almost nothing for them. And that's really kind of shitty, but what's his name that still can't come into the country because of the WikiLeaks? Like, is he a bad guy? There's a lot of opinions about him. Who's the bad guy?
Yeah.
It's crazy. And Bob Lazar, you talk to a lot of people and notice, he's a nut bar. But most people that I know, pretty much everybody that I know, if you talk about Bob Lazar, nobody's like, oh, he's in a nut bar, he's a jackwad. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Why does it seem so fringe to believe him? You know what I mean? It seems everybody I know that's discerning and intelligent, that's looked into it at all, goes, yeah, oh yeah, he was definitely involved in some stuff.
Yeah.
But that's where the questions end, because there's no answers.
Yeah, but he had, I guess it'd be anecdotal proof. I mean, not physical proof.
Oh yeah.
But,
Well,
you know,
that's the stuff, like all the stuff that exists, like the little video that they can't find anymore of the element or whatever. Remember him talking about that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, why the fuck did you have the video? Like, I don't know. I believe that he was involved in whatever he was involved in. But again, it's just like, who cares? You can't prove any of it. You can't get to any of it. There's like, why can't you get a group of people? Can you get a big enough group of people to drive the fuck out there and go to where you used to work? Is there no benefit to that? So to me, it's like,
you get shot.
Well, quite possibly, but how many people would you have to show up with before that would not be a feasible thing?
I know they tried to do that storm Area 51. It didn't work out.
No, it didn't work out so well. But that was stupid. That was stupid and disorganized. Stupid and disorganized. I think the fight for the name thing was more organized. But I feel like if there was a big enough push for it, it wouldn't be hard to do. Because again, if it's not our direct government that's involved in the stuff out there,
who is it?
Who is it? And at what point are they going to have to fess up and cop to it when you send out how many people to get shot by the military? No one's going to say anything. Like a bunch of dudes in stormtrooper outfits got murdered out in the desert. I don't know. I feel like there's not enough people care. And I think also the payoff is not really good enough either, because whatever it is that they have found and that they have discovered, we don't really need to know anyway. It's fascinating, but we don't need to know. When we need to know, I think we'll know. That's where I've been with it for a long time. Is that like when it really matters, when they land on the White House lawn or whatever contact's going to be, I think then I'll know. Till then, it's like you can just drive yourself nuts wondering. And I feel bad for people who genuinely have that level of exposure to any of this stuff, because what a lonely place to be. Yeah. How was work today? You're boring. We just discovered new technologies and stuff that shouldn't exist, but can't talk about it. So Irma was a real bitch at lunch. And
but why my thing is, why the secrecy? Because do we really think that if bring aliens back into the equation now, if aliens are truly here and we're getting the technology out, did they only come to the United States? I mean, no other country is dealing with the same thing, developing their own shit.
Well, the things that I've heard, again, they don't make sense with common sense to me. They don't. The idea that there's global contracts with beings from other planets and stuff. And I'm like, really? Like, we can't get along on the planet. Like, how in the hell do we have treaties with multiple species of aliens? Maybe we do. Again, I don't know. Like that. Why is there secrecy? Who controls the actual proof, the actual information? Who did they actually contact? So we have flying saucers and all this stuff up in the desert, and we don't know who's in control of it, but somebody is, and it's got a lot of financial backing and some fear of being messed with. Don't know who's got it. Don't know what they're doing with it. But there's contact with aliens, but they only talk to those evil bastards who are, again, the only thing that makes any sense to me is that they're from this planet and they're scared of us having nukes. That's all I get.
I agree.
I don't have anything to back that up other than it's just kind of causal. Like, why would they give a shit about us? Any beings from another dimension, planet, solar system, or here, why would they care what we're doing? Oh, well, because they don't want us to blow up their planet. If it matters to them that this planet survives. So if they Anunnaki that are waiting for us to get all the gold or whatever it is, the only interest is that they don't want us to destroy it. That's all I can see. Because otherwise, who gives a crap what we do? How would we possibly affect their lives if they're from another dimension, whatever the hell it is, solar system or universe?
So do you believe that do you believe or not believe that we got the atomic technology from aliens, or do you think we?
No, I think that
ourselves?
was something we came upon. I think most of the technology that we've got, we came upon it just through normal stuff. Like, as you discover a wheel and you discover sparks and you discover fire and these things, with enough time, it's going to happen. Now, how evolution works totalitarianly or whatever the hell we do over the grand scheme of things, I don't know how it all works, but it seems to me that we've gotten smarter and smarter, and then
It's just
smart
a snowball effect.
To the degree that we're able to start getting dumber and more irresponsible. And that seems like sort of the downward spiral into what would probably be oblivion at some point. And then it would start over.
The Great Reset.
Yeah. I mean, it just kind of has to happen. Like, how many people can make this again? Could you make this? If somebody gave you like, what's the one? I don't remember who even said it, but so like, if you just had nothing, how long would it take before you could send me an email? Like, here you are with some sticks and a loincloth. How many years before you can send me an email? You know what I mean? Like that happened, but like, oh, got it from aliens. Okay, maybe, or maybe not, because aliens made it at some point too. It didn't just exist. It wasn't. Has it been handed down forever? Clearly not, because then you get chicken and the egg kind of shit.
Right.
Somebody came up with something that led to another thing. That led to another thing. That makes sense to me. I still don't know how a human being came up with polishing a rock until it could think, but it happened.
That was part of the downward spiral. So,
well, but I mean, we reached that level. So silicon chips are a ridiculous thing. And my wife goes, it's a series of switches. I'm like, it's a freaking little piece of material that thinks. That doesn't make any sense to me. But I get it conceptually, but it seems beyond my capabilities as far as, 1 + 1 is 2. And I can see that it's all, tangible, but computer chip technology to me is not tangible. And I don't understand, because my intellect doesn't go that far. But clearly there's people in the human race that their intellect does go that far. That makes total sense to them. They understand it, and they can even move past it, innovate new things. That's not my gift. So there's only a certain number of people that have that kind of gift, and they all die too. And if they, if their genetic material doesn't go on, at what point do we get dumb enough that we can't make the crap work anymore? That seems to me like just an inevitability. But I don't know.
I want to know what the audience thinks.
They stopped listening like an hour ago. They're like, this guy won't shut up.
I want to know everybody's opinion. Do you believe we got technology from aliens, or do you think we got technology from, just like Jack said, just kind of discovering it as we go? Let's do a poll. Let's see.
Nobody has said anything for like 12
well,
minutes.
There's a delay. There's a delay usually. Not 12 minutes, but
I'm setting records, baby. 11 minutes of absolute radio silence.
Yeah. I mean, I go along with that same idea. I mean, yeah, the human mind comes up with all kinds of things, and it can have that snowball effect, but it just seems that there were a lot of missing pieces that materialized in a very short amount of time, after the Roswell thing happened.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get that. But there again, there's the belief that the Roswell thing was alien in nature. And so
yeah,
was it not?
Yeah.
In my little planet scheme, it wasn't. It was just a further evolution of humans.
Time travelers.
Not time travelers. They were here. They were just above the water. Because my belief is that our species that we were or are or going to be lived longer than our line of it, because they were underwater when whatever took out our line happened, whether it was Atlantis or the other civilizations where they found buried, for crying out loud. What's that one?
Atlantis?
Debekatope.
Göbekli Tepe.
Yeah, that thing.
Göbekli Tepe.
Yeah, it's like somebody buried it.
That's a cool thing to say. I like that.
It's freaking awesome.
The Heavy Metal Beer Club does not think technology came from aliens. So that's one for no.
Ooh. See, Wendy's, what's cool about Wendy's? This is what's funny. It's like, I don't know if you heard me talk about it before, I don't remember where I heard it, but I heard that the first contact with aliens is going to be staged.
You did say that. Yeah.
It's going to be staged. It's going to be our government or somebody else's government staging it. It's not going to be actual contact. So careful about that, Whitney. Don't buy into that first wave.
But then you go down that other rabbit hole that there's hybrids walking among us, and these people that are discovering all this technology are they the hybrids.
That's a hard one to swallow because because I'm just, as far as I know, just a normal person. It's really difficult for me to believe that there are people that not only have alien DNA, but they know it. It's like, I know people that have, I guess what best thing you could call it is psychic abilities, but not demonstrable. Like they can show you or move stuff with their minds, but there's been enough things that I've seen happen that when they say they have these particular abilities, I believe them because I can't disprove them. And you know, what's the point in that? So
well, I know the interview that we did
was so weird.
It was crazy.
It was freaking crazy.
Yeah,
I'm watching this well-spoken, intelligent person talk about having an alien DNA and getting messages from him. Like, how are you not locked up somewhere? Like, because she's a normal person.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird. Because most people who have that sort of off-color sort of thoughts and things are walking around asking for change. Like my uncle was insane and incredibly intelligent at the same time. And he would talk about things that I thought were just most ridiculous shit. And I remember telling him one of the last times I saw him, I told him, Joe, I go to work, I pay bills, I live in the real world here. Whatever you're dealing with, I don't know. I don't know that it's not true. But he talked about stuff that was horrifying, you know, cannibalistic soup kitchens and stuff in our state. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. But then again, it's really not. It's just, it's not something that I'm in touch with.
Yeah.
It's not something that affects my day. So that's the real tough part. If they're hybrids, they know what they're going through. And just because I have no ability to relate or understand it doesn't invalidate it, but it makes it really hard to swallow when somebody tells you stuff that's that different from your norm.
Well, the three of us know a hybrid.
Yeah. And it's the minute that you guys said that to me, I'm like, dude, it snapped into focus. And I'm like, oh, it makes so much sense now.
We have to, Joey, we have to set that interview up.
Yeah, we do. That would be fun. And Jack has to be there for that.
Oh, no.
You get baked goods.
It's so, yeah.
You get a muffin or cookies.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, instead of the government capturing aliens, it's aliens capturing our military and planting chips in their heads to destroy us.
Wow, that's deep. That's freaking deep.
Instead of the government capturing aliens
capturing our military and planting chips in their heads to destroy us.
How did chips in their heads destroy us? Are they bombs?
Exploding chips.
Or we're talking mind control?
No, they're mind
chips.
control.
Oh,
mind control.
They're not the ones that like hook to a debit card?
No.
Okay.
It's an interesting
I got this round. Scan Tim's. He's out. Just scan his hand. You're paying, dummy. First one out pays.
Oh, shit.
Sorry.
It started with fluoride in the water.
That's right. It did.
It always reminds me of that old 80s movie, They Live. Remember that?
Yes.
Where you had to wear the glasses to see that they were aliens.
But like, honestly.
Were they reptilian?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they were reptilian.
So, I mean, you equate that to, say, people that are hybrids. Do they have a sensory ability to notice other ones? And stuff was like, I don't know. But what if they do? That sort of thing is ridiculous of a movie concept as it was. It exists.
It was scary, too.
It exists on some level.
Yeah.
And, you know, people are all aware of different things at different levels. And I'm aware that there's a lot of stuff that goes on in this world that I have no clue about. I discover new stuff every week, things that I didn't know were a thing, you know, just whether it's just hobbies or whatever. And it's amazing that the vastness of our planet, just our planet, is so mind-numbingly huge. It's totally believable that all these things could be real. All these things could exist, and we wouldn't know.
But looking at the two hybrids that we know, obviously you only saw the one on video. You didn't get to see her in person. But when you look at their physical features, given their age,
I know,
you know, it really kind of makes you think.
You know, what it makes me understand is that I don't know everything. I certainly don't. There's plenty of things that exist. I know that as human beings, there's clear examples of people that are that excel in ways that others don't, whether it's athletic or intellectual or spiritual or linguistic, whatever. Everyone has their gifts to certain degrees. Everyone has their shortcomings. So are those things all just, pure luck or genetic makeup, or is there, that sort of thing? Because there's people that do stuff. Athletics always comes to mind most prevalently in that. There's some athletes that do stuff that if I tried my entire life, I could never
Do what they do.
do what they do. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, and they do it effortlessly and they're just built different,
Well, look at these videos of these freaking 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds playing the drums like they've fucking been studying for 20 years.
And that's the thing. Like there's the one that I think of, and I can't remember all the numbers on it, but Michael Phelps is a swimmer, and his physiological numbers, the way that his body worked, the way that his body processed like the acids, amino acids, kind of stuff that puts you in pain when you do muscle work. His body functions different. He doesn't feel it the way that everyone else feels. That's why he was such a monster in swimming, because he didn't exhaust the way that normal people do.
Right.
And it's just because he was lucky enough or engineered or whatever, that his body processed things differently. So it wasn't taxing on him like it is on every other human being. And that's, we see that in a lot of real premier athletes have those sorts of abilities where they function on a different level that nobody can really explain other than luck of the draw.
I had to think about the potato chip comment there for a minute.
Yes.
Yeah, there's no snacks at the table tonight there, Jack.
Nobody brought me any snacks and it was late. I left them in the truck. Yeah. Lindsay, bring us some snacks.
I'm sure we got snacks.
Have the dogs bring us snacks. No, anyway.
I'm sure we got snacks.
So I had to close the blinds behind me because Wendy was freaking me out earlier. She saw things looking in at me over my shoulder.
Open them back up.
We'll get to play that back later.
You want to see something really scary. Yeah. You remember that movie? It was terrifying. You remember that, right, Joe?
Which one?
You want to see something really scary.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Anyway, that's a Twilight Zone reference for those of you who don't know. You want to not sleep tonight? Go ahead and rent that on streaming.
Love the Twilight Zone.
That movie was
the Twilight Zone movie.
Yeah, there was that line, and I remember the gremlin on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
Nightmares.
Yeah, it was John Lithgow in that one.
Yeah, John Lithgow.
Yeah, and do you guys remember the kid in the house, the no mouth kid?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Talk about things the nightmares are made of. Now I don't. It's been so long since I've seen that. I don't know what the actual production quality of it is, but that was the most realistic, terrifying thing I remember seeing when I was young. That horrific. The TV show, just like that whole movie was awesome and just super scary. I've never had the balls to watch it again. As an adult.
Really?
Like, legitimately. I imagine it's probably crap compared to a lot of the stuff that exists now, but yeah, just the mental damage it did to me. Like, I can't watch it again.
You know what movie always screwed me up was Dreamscape. Remember Dreamscape?
Oh yeah,
that was
that was with the kid from Terminator, wasn't it? Oh no, wait,
no, I don't. I remember the kid. I know Dennis Quaid was in it.
Yeah,
it was a freaky movie when I was a kid. Now I'd probably laugh at it, but
I'm having trouble remembering which one.
Well, isn't that didn't they hire a kid? I mean, there were people that had certain abilities.
The kid couldn't sleep. He kept having nightmares. So they hired Dennis Quaid. They somehow put him in the same dream, and he was supposed to coach him out of it and help him. It was freaking crazy. It was a crazy movie.
I don't think I saw.
Yeah, I did see that one, but I think I'm confusing it with another one where they hired a guy to assassinate. I don't know if it was a president or some political figure in their sleep. Because I think the way it went is if you died in your dream, then you really died. And so,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And so they plant these people in your dreams, and that wasn't Dreamscape though, huh?
No, it wasn't Dreamscape. No. I know what movie you're talking about though. I just don't remember that. I'll have to Google it and see.
Lawnmower Man. Just kidding.
That's a blast from the past.
That's a piece of crap.
It really was. Yeah, Dan Aykroyd was in the Twilight Zone movie.
Was he the one that said you want to see something really scary? That's been so long since
I don't even know. Was he in that? He was in that movie.
He was in it. I don't know if he's the one that said that.
I don't know
though.
what part he
He's-
played in it, but
yeah.
I knew that Lithgow was in it.
Mhm.
But that's the only person I can have a conscious memory of because he was also in Bigfoot.
I
Or,
thought-
Harry Henderson's stuff.
Harry
Yeah.
Henderson does a great movie.
He's been like everywhere. That's just been around for a long time.
He plays a good bad guy too.
You know
He's
what?
Kind of
Oh,
crazy.
he plays the best bad guys.
Tales from the Dark Side did a movie after
That's
that
great.
one.
I love Tales from the Dark Side.
Did you see their movie?
I saw the TV show.
Okay, so
Tales from the Dark Side.
they had a movie. They did a theater movie, and one of the stories in it was the gargoyles.
Hmm.
And it was one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen in my life. As far as like story writing, it like had country song sort of level story writing, like bring it back to the.
Right.
It was, yeah. Oh, it's just awful. I'm gonna well, just kiss my ass. It was cool. This guy witnesses a gargoyle kill somebody, right? And the gargoyle sees
You're
him. And
Poochie, nice pooch.
it lets him live, but you're never to speak about me, right? Okay, cool. The guy goes on with his life, and he's an artist, and he does all these sculptures of gargoyles and shit, whatever. Anyway, no explanation. But then he meets this woman, falls in love, has kids. Everything's going great. And then one day he's freaking out with his wife, and he breaks down and tells her, and she starts freaking out and screaming at him, "You promised you'd never tell." It's like, what the? Just,
Wow.
yeah, like it's awful, awful, so good, and awful because then she goes. And goes,
Oh, we need to do another horror edition.
Did you
of
call
the
me a
show.
whore?
Yes.
I know.
That would be fun to do.
Yeah.
Inception.
That was a crazy movie too.
That's my wife just put that on.
Yeah, that was a crazy movie.
Yeah, the top spinning. Yeah. Mm.
And,
I just-
Heavy Metal Beer Club did say it was Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, it was
that said
Dan
that.
Aykroyd that said that. Yeah.
Yikes.
I just watched the new Conjuring.
Oh, did you know?
Yep.
I see. I'm not seeing those yet. The genuine horror movies. It's been a long time since I've ventured into any genuine horror movies because
Disappeared again.
What's that?
So I disappeared again for a second.
oh
Yeah, you're frozen.
no, we like you.
Joey's
We
frozen.
can hear you.
Hear you?
Can everybody else hear Joey?
I can see myself moving.
Really? Yeah, you're frozen. There,
Yeah. Oh, I'm looking at my phone. I can see I'm frozen.
Oh, there
there
you
you
moved.
go.
You did
Ah,
it.
There he goes.
Nice job. You broke the spell.
Ah,
No, the Conjuring was good, but I really want to explore the real story behind this this story.
What's this?
this was something different than the Parent Farm, right? Or the Parent
Yeah.
Family.
Yeah, it's about a kid who is possessed and passes it on to another person. I don't want to give the story away, so I won't talk
The
too much about it. But
Warrens. The
it's based on a true story, so it was
Because the
interesting.
Warrens are involved, right?
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
See, and this is where you guys who are definitely more into the paranormal stuff know more than I do because I don't know what you're talking about.
Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Ed
Well,
and Lorraine Warren.
I've heard tidbits of it over the course of me being involved with you guys, but I have not delved into any of this stuff. Like even of all the people that we've met and that we did interviews and stuff with, I don't have a depth of reference for any of this stuff. So it's all new to me when you guys talk about it. So if you want one person to spew all your nerd stuff on, I'd be the one guy who'd be like, no friggin' way. Yeah, I remember hearing the Conjuring movies were based on some true story, but I don't know what the true story was or what the Conjuring movies are about. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean it's a Hollywood depiction of it, but they're all based on true stories. But this one was pretty fascinating. So I'd like to dig into the real story because they're all based on real stories. So.
Yeah.
It's got to be less spectacular than the movie, though, right?
Well, I don't know.
I mean, being a personal experience, it obviously would be pretty intense for whoever's involved in it. But
Yeah,
I was wondering, like, how poltergeisty was the real poltergeist?
I just watched that the other day too. The original one.
I couldn't eat,
classic.
I couldn't
That's
eat
great.
rhubarb. I couldn't eat strawberry rhubarb ever again. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
And I wasn't supposed to
Wow.
watch that movie. We weren't supposed to see that movie, but we had HBO at the time, and so of course we stayed up late and watched it. We weren't supposed to. And then my grandmother presented us with strawberry rhubarb pie the next day, and I was like, I couldn't eat it, and I couldn't explain why.
Yeah, it was gross.
I just was like, oh my, they were covered. Oh no, so bad, so bad, pathetic.
It's like that slime stuff you used to buy in the 25-cent machine. That's
Yeah.
what they were covered in.
Well,
It was pink.
it was pink and
It
it
was
had
pink.
that chunkiness
Yeah.
that was so distinctively rhubarb, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm not eating that. Oh, good gracious! Wendy, the blinds are closed. It's not going to work anymore. You gotta stop. Jesus.
Well, it's been an hour and a half.
Yeah, that's true.
It has, huh?
Why? Oh, it has. Oh, who
Yeah.
cares?
It's amazing.
What else are you gonna do?
Amazing how time flies.
I know. I'm gonna go build doors. I'm the man in the window. Do.
It's not the message I meant to put up there, but switches really fast on me.
Emily is a man. Who knew?
She's peeking through the windows.
Do.
Wow. And then I turned around and the blinds are kind of opened a little bit. I
Ooh,
thought I
that's
closed
freaky.
them all the way. That is freaky.
Well, the truth would be scary because it's real. Real stuff sucks a lot more than fake stuff, as far as I know.
Well, what I was going to say about the last movie was they actually played some of the original recordings as the credits rolled,
Oh,
and that
yeah. See, again,
freaked me out more than the damn movie did.
I don't know what it involves. So there you go. There's some recordings that say Darren.
No, it's in
Still the coolest thing I've experienced.
Tell you what's really cool to watch on the Travel Channel is you can pull up the
How do you spell that?
yeah, it's terrible. I have it in my head. I know the word or the name of it and all that until I go to say it, and then it's like it's gone. Never mind. We'll come back to that sometime. Because it's all of this guy's recordings, and then they go back and reinvestigate. You know what?
There was a fake one.
Someone knows what I'm talking about. The Hosier Files.
The Hosier Files.
Yeah, Hosier Files. They're really
There was
good.
a fake one on Netflix. I'm sure it was fake. It was this whole supposed documentary on these like hundreds of videotapes they found of this mass murderer or like serial killer thing. I watched like 30 seconds of it and I went, oh, this is crap. It was anyway. There's nothing to that. So let's keep going. One time I ate something, it was around me. All right.
About as relevant.
About as relevant and random. It's like, well, thanks for that, Jack. We appreciate that bit of absolute nothing that you just contributed to this conversation. Remember that time that you did that thing? Ha ha ha.
Oh yeah,
ha,
I remember
ha,
that.
ha.
Yes.
I need more context. It was at one time. Oh, okay.
One time at bank camp.
One time at band camp. I do have some good band camp stories. Hey, continue.
So we know what we're gonna do next week.
Puppet shows?
Drink beer.
All right.
We know that for a fact. Did you say puppet shows?
Maybe. What do you got against puppets?
Nothing.
I know.
Except they're creepy.
Damn right.
Creepy.
Evil puppet shows.
We need to do another doll show.
No.
You know, any dolls?
Yeah.
I like dolls. Do I like dolls? I don't know. Do I like clowns? Do I like dolls? No, I don't like them. I don't like either one of them. But I guess I don't really have a real deep aversion to either of them either. When it comes right down to it, it's I can scare the crap out of myself if I want to. It's depending where. What was that? I'm just kidding. just depending on where my head is at any particular time. It's it's interesting how out of control my thoughts can get to like where I genuine feel fear, which is so stupid because it's never anything. Anyway.
I was starting to wonder if you ever feel fear because I watched you in the jail, man, and you were like calm.
Because it's a choice. And and whether or not you get, it's just a matter of what motivates people, I think. And then a lot of people, whatever emotion you enjoy, I've always enjoyed crying. And that sounds silly, but that's like my favorite state of being. I like to cry. So like I like sad movies and I like sad songs, anything that can evoke emotion I like, but crying is kind of my favorite one. And other people, some people like anger, some people like, adrenaline, some people like, fear and all those things. So it's just, that's what kind of, I feel like that's what fuels people's hobbies. And so when it comes to this paranormal stuff, there is a potential for genuine fear, but I can't let that be part of my experience because I know what my fear level can be. I mean, I keep myself up at night when I was a child, being scared of nothing. Because there's nothing, there's nothing to be scared of, but I could absolutely freak myself out by sounds, or there's something on the ground, just like the most ridiculous stuff that at some point my pragmatic brain kicked in and said, stop it, just stop it, you know? And that's what it boils down to, is we can all control that stuff. I was freaking out last time I went to the eye doctor because he's poking in my eye, and the doctor, he looked at me and goes, what are you doing? I was like, oh yeah, he's right. And just stop. It's not going to hurt as long as you hold friggin' still.
Right.
You're fine. And that's the way it goes. Cause yeah, if I go down that too much, it's, I do think you can lose control of it, and your mind, I think minds are very fragile things.
Mm-hmm.
And if you let something get a hold of you like that, that's what I think. The demonic possession, all that stuff has everything to do with your state of mind. Because is there really a demon in you, or did you just decide there was? Because I've seen hypnotist shows, and one thing I know for a fact, they're not hypnotizing anybody. You're allowing yourself to be susceptible to suggestion, plain and simple. It's that simple. And the amount of suggestion you'll take when you're in that free space is pretty ridiculous. The stuff that people will do when they're hypnotized. So what's a possession? I don't know if there's really a demon in you, or if you just became a demon. But I think that's very plausible. So I don't go in there.
Wendy said she'll bring her doll, Sarah.
Cool.
I think you should. You get to make the trip up here, Wendy?
Is she an anatomically correct doll?
Don't know. She's got too many clothes on to tell.
Well, there you go. Party.
She's kind of, she's a pretty doll, but she's a little bit creepy too.
My type.
I actually saw one on Facebook.
Go ahead. You saw one on Facebook.
I saw one on Facebook the other day. Somebody was selling it. It was pretty creepy.
Selling?
Yeah.
Oh, we're talking creepy. There's a dude sits out in front of the Circle K that has this full size, like life size hooker doll made out of duct tape. I kid you not. It's made out of duct tape. It's gray, but he's got her dressed like a whore and it has a wig on it. It's sad and funny all at the same time. Because as you walk by, you really want to go, is that your girl? What the? Then I think, is it his? Is he renting it out? Why is he carrying it around in public? I mean, what the hell are you doing with it? It looks like a whore, and you're with it in public. So
what Circle K is that? Chandler?
Yeah. What was it? Circle K that used to Channel Boulevard McQueen. They just closed that one down. But yeah. I saw him out there a couple times and I'm just like, what has to go wrong in your life? And he wasn't like a really old guy. He had to be younger than me. You took the time to make a girl out of duct tape?
That's crazy.
Couldn't fill out an application or something? I don't know. Like, I feel like he could have found a better hobby. But I don't know what the hell kind of rock bottom you hit. Like, Lou, I got a girlfriend now. Mom will be proud of me. All right, sorry. What is it? Okay, I'll start with that. Punching people considered feelings, emotion. No. That would be aggression. So you like aggression, Wendy. And alcohol, those two things.
Because that's her favorite emotion.
Yes, because she says it's punching people consider feelings and emotions.
No,
that the want to do those things.
That's acting out.
Wanting to punch people is an emotion. Actually doing it is. Demons are real when it comes to trying to take over your mind. Yeah, I know. That's what I was just saying.
And who gives them their power?
That's what I mean.
You do.
They take over your mind. Without your mind, they are nothing.
We need to have another demonologist on.
Capiche?
Those were good shows.
Yeah, I'm going up Friday. Where are you coming?
Friday doesn't help us next Tuesday, though.
Yeah, Friday I'm going to be at a concert or a show.
Yeah, come up next Tuesday and we can talk about the dolls.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
The dolls.
We'll get back to you on what we're doing next Tuesday. You're back next week, right, Joey?
Yeah. And my doll's already over at your place.
Yep. Staring at us right now.
You left your doll here, man.
Got a lot of dolls in here, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, you do? Yeah. What in the hell is that?
What?
I don't know what that is. The white thing. What's the white thing?
That's our ghost gnome.
Oh, for fuck's sake. That's cute.
Joey's daughter made those. Got a Truth About Beer gnome. We got our alien gnome.
Alien
our big-
abduction. Yeah.
Yeah, alien abduction. We got our Bigfoot gnome.
Looks like my. Which ironically looks like Joey.
I should have had the camera on there.
Yeah.
Could have switched over to the camera.
That's all right. Anyway,
Sure.
All right. So are we done with conspiracy theories? Do we have any more we want to talk about?
I don't know. Nothing comes to mind.
Talk about the alien base that's in Superstition Mountain.
We talked about that a little bit.
Yeah, we did.
You know, conspiracy theories are a good way to avoid reality sometimes, in all honesty. But being honest,
But they get out of hand too.
well, they get out of hand. But I mean, like delving into those things really sometimes does take away from, monotony of day to day
Yeah.
stuff. Like to believe that there's something bigger and grander and purposeful. I think is a part of the human condition. We're all susceptible to it. How boring would life be if you didn't ever think there were things happening that you weren't aware of? I think lends itself to fantasy and lends itself to joy. And,
It's also disturbing though when you get into certain aspects of it.
well, but again, the whole spectrum of human emotion matters. You can't really have any of it without the other parts of it. You
Right.
can't be happy without
Right.
sadness. And so it is that duplicitous existence where you have to have these awful things to make the joy mean more or mean anything really, because joy all the time is nothingness. So
True.
there has to be something to compare it to, as far as I can tell. That's my favorite phrase. Phoenix, Texas State. Wait, she doesn't live in Phoenix?
No, she's in Tucson.
I was just there. I didn't know you were in Tucson, Wendy. I could have picked you up.
You can hang till Tuesday, Wendy. You could do it. We got an extra room here. You can stay. It'd be worth it to do a show on dolls.
Dolls. Pretty dolls.
Pretty
Pretty
ones.
dolls. Pretty dolls.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we're saying that's a wrap on the conspiracy theory.
Wiggy, wiggy, wiggy. Yeah, I think so. I think we covered everything that needs to be covered that we can think of at the
And
moment,
then
because
some.
nobody brought their lists. Unbelievable.
I have the old list here, but that doesn't.
You did. You tried. I guess
It really doesn't help. Well, we covered everything.
I know we did. I know
We covered everything but gun control.
Let's start over again. Gun control is not a conspiracy theory.
Sure.
How's that a conspiracy theory?
Sure, it is.
No, it's not. It's gun control's a reality.
The mass shootings.
Oh. Okay. So yes. Well, that's in a book, isn't it? There's a book that talks about that, releasing the mentally ill, weaponizing them with the intention of getting the people to clamor for the weapons to be taken away, so that you can take the populace. Because once they say we got to get rid of guns, otherwise everyone's going to get killed by the crazy people.
Well, I brought an
disarm
interesting
themselves.
graph up here that I
Bam,
did some
hit it.
research on. So these are mass shootings since 1982
Yeah.
to May of 2021.
Yeah.
See a trend?
83, there was 0. Yeah, I see a trend. It goes up and
We're
down,
getting
and up and down, and
crazier.
up and down, and up and down.
Yeah, we got some high peaks over there.
12. There was
During the
12.
pandemic, huh?
That's a lot, though.
In 2018, before the pandemic.
I can't see those.
So they absolutely hit the
Oh,
crap
so
out
it
of
just
it.
goes to 2020. Okay.
Yeah, it just goes to 2020, and it looks like what we got 5 in
Yeah, and then
2021. There were 5 in 2021 or 2020.
2021. It says it goes to May of 2021.
So as of May of this year, there's been 5 mass shootings.
Yes.
And previous year, when in the height of coronavirus,
2.
people didn't want to get sick, so they kept it on the low, kept on the DL. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what qualifies as a mass shooting?
Good question.
That's all
More
part
than
of it.
more than one person?
Well, that's the thing. More than one person. If you've got 2 people involved in the same mass shooting, does that count as 2 mass
Right.
shootings or 1 mass shooting? Even more so, what has to be involved? How many people have to die? Does anyone have to die? Because it just be people get injured. And who freaking knows? And this is what's crazy. Like, when you look at those statistics there, the amount of guns that we have in this country, the amount of freedom we have for guns,
Mm-hmm.
and the absolute most was 12 in a year. And they act like it's off the rails, out of control.
Right.
To me, that's nuts when you consider how many people die from basic silverware falling in their houses, car accidents. None of that needs to be clamored to be get rid of because they go, oh, well, none of it, they're not designed for that intention. Okay, yeah, well, weapons aren't necessarily either. And they're fun to shoot. So sorry. Until you make them not fun, they're going to still exist.
They are fun to shoot.
You know, get into the whole tyranny part of it. And that means something to some people. And then there's a lot of people that should just stand up and go, hey, I like shooting stuff. It's really fun to have a machine gun. You've not ever blown off a machine gun or a freaking cool shotgun. It's like, there's a coolness to it.
Yep.
And I don't think it's wrong to say, I just like them and they exist. So I want them. Kiss my ass. If I do something bad with them, then kill me or prosecute or whatever you do. You know, I think there should be laws. You stop people, but you can't stop people preemptively. And that's the unfortunate thing about humankind is that tragedies happen, whether they're intentional from somebody or they're just tragic and happen. Bad things happen.
The biggest frustrating thing for me when it comes to gun control and their ideas of how they're going to stop it by taking everybody's guns, it's never going to happen. People are always going to find guns. They're always going to find weapons. They're going to do it somehow, some way.
To me, the bigger blanket statement in that and so many other things is this idea that we can legislate morality.
Right.
You can't.
Right.
There always is a question of morality involved. And anytime that's the case, you can't make enough rules and laws to affect that in any decent way. You just can't, because we're people. Everyone's got so many different things going on, so many spectrums of reference, and there's all sorts of things that are involved. You can't legislate morality. You just can't. And there's always going to be people that are on the other side that are considered bad by these people over here. And then, you know, it's yin and yang, give and take. It's just part of existence. It's a shit part of existence is that bad things happen.
But they know that. They know that.
Exactly.
So why gun control?
Because it gives them something to do. It gives them a freaking job. If they don't have something to rally against, and that's what it is. It's the political part of it that is so frustrating that we have these guys that have been there for as long as they've been there, and their jobs are like their jobs. I don't know. Well, hell.
Well, yeah. I think it's because they don't want us to have that much power.
I don't know I really don't know what the purpose is. I really don't know why anybody would be against it, because it makes it equal. But again, you get into that whole thing of conspiracy of who's in charge. Where's the power come from? Who's ultimately in charge? You know, I don't believe that the people that are in government are the top of the echelon. I don't think they are.
Right.
But I don't know who is, and I don't know what their motivations are, because I can't exist on that level. I just, that's not in my playbook. I do what I do on a daily basis, and you do what you do. And we've never had to consider, a genocide to protect our financial interests in some other part of the globe. Well, what should we do about those people? Let's just wipe them off face the earth. No one's going to mess them. Okay, cool.
Right.
Who the hell does that? Somebody, because it happens.
Well, I guess we'll leave you with that thought then.
Bitching. Merry Christmas. Have a good night's sleep. Joey, don't open the window.
So, Joey, enjoy the rest of your visit.
Thank you. Yeah, it should
and we'll see you back in the seat next week.
Yeah.
It'll be the three of us here. That'll be fun.
I've got
Everybody
just a
else.
little bit left.
And possibly Wendy.
Thanks for hanging out, everybody.
Mine's empty, so I'm going to toast my can. So,
Right on.
So that's been the truth about beer and
Conspiracy theory.
part 2.
Woo, bye.
Till next time. We'll see you guys.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Welcome to the truth about beer.